Councilmember Andrews.
Thank you, Council President Florine, and thanks to everybody who testified. I thought the testimony was very helpful, and I would emphasize that point, that this was a bill proposed by the county executive. No member of the county council has proposed this measure, and I can understand why. The testimony by Ms. Fudge, I thought, was very well researched and clearly established that the current law applies to Lockheed Martin, the current hotel tax. And so I wanted to ask Mr. Kearns if, at least that's how I interpret it as well, does Lockheed Martin dispute the application, the legal coverage of this to Lockheed Martin?
Sorry, I always wanted to go to law school, Councilman, but I would have to check from the legal components. I'm not sure that,
well, the reason
that I
I
can
asked,
speak to that. A primary component of it, though, is the income component, and this isn't considered an income, and it's also a private facility that's not open to the public.
well, the reason I asked, and the law clearly does not exempt private facilities, is that you described it as a clarification of the law. You're seeking a clarification of the law, but with all due respect, I think that's inaccurate. I think the only fair way to characterize is that you're seeking an exemption from the law based on the law's clear language. And that's, you're right to do so. I do think that it would apply to other situations in the future. I don't think it would end up being limited to Lockheed Martin. And so I think the council will look at this as a significant policy change. I don't think it's justified to change the policy. I think the testimony by the gentleman who was on the first panel, Mr. Gluck, about the services still being required to provide assistance to residents, whether they're of the facility, whether they're county residents or visitors, would apply equally. And so I don't think there's a persuasive case for this, and I'm not going to support it. But I appreciate that everyone came out today to give their view, and that this is an issue that, as far as I know, has not been one that council members have taken a position on yet. So I guess I'll start it off by saying I'm not persuaded that this should be done, and I'm not going to vote for it.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Andrews.